How important is it to actually talk to people when you're starting a business or trying to grow a business? Well, I mentioned in a previous video that I had actually had a 5-minute conversation in a garage actually that led to a few jobs. So I want to share that with you, and it's just a little bit of training just to kind of get over the hump of being scared. I know a lot of people out there are not the most comfortable talking to people, and I've got my moments where I don't want to, but I do it. So I was at a small engine shop in April, and I was actually looking at buying a bit of equipment. I didn't buy anything that day. I was just looking at backpack blowers. And I noticed there was an older man who was kind of looking at some equipment, a brand that I use amongst my tools. And I could tell that he was interested, but the clerk was very busy. They're a very busy small shop. The clerk is also a mechanic. So I just kind of went up to him and said, yeah, I've got one of these blowers myself, and it's a great machine. And we just started chatting a little bit. I saw that he had an accent, and I think it was an Italian accent. Now, I speak Italian, so I just switched to Italian to make him more comfortable. And you know what? He was really happy to talk to me. If you don't speak multiple languages, it's not the end of the world. You still have to get over that barrier of actually going up to people and talking to them a little bit when you're starting your business or when you're in a bit of an expansion phase. Okay, face-to-face I find is very effective, and it builds an instant trust relationship. This man obviously was not looking about, wasn't there to ask about landscaping services. He was there to buy a machine for himself. Nevertheless, I gave him a business card. Introduced myself, gave him the card, told him, these are the scope of the services we can offer. I let it at that. Wasn't a hard push on the guy. Not hard selling, just introduced myself, give him the card. And then I left. A couple weeks later, I get a call from this gentleman. It wasn't for his house, but it was for his sister's, and she needs grass cutting. So he said, okay, can you come out and meet us, on the weekend? I said, sure, I'll go down. So I met with them, then I met with the neighbor. Neighbor was also looking just for maintenance for now. Perfect. Okay, so sign them both up. That's nice when you get one next to the other. Hey, just from a little talk that we had at a small engine shop. Nothing to do with actually, inquiring about landscaping off the bat. Go there every Saturday doing the cutting at both homes. Get noticed by the neighbor to the right. Nice older people, and they come out and ask, do you trim hedges? For sure you do. Yeah, for sure. You come have a look at our backyard. Have a look, give them a price. I say, it's getting booked up for the fall already, because this was in June. So I said I can for sure get half of it done. The other half we'll see. I'll stay in touch with you, but it might have to go to next year. So I actually did the small hedge on the right side, on the neighbors to the right. So got the sister as the first client, got her neighbor for the maintenance, then got the one on the right, the neighbors on the right, for some hedge trimming, and they need some, I think they want overseeding done in the spring. So this is all from one little conversation introducing myself to a nice older man who just, he was looking at some Dolmars actually, and hey, I've got a Dolmar blower, and I just wanted to talk to the guy for a couple minutes. Now in the fall, I get a call from the brother, not the sister who is my actual client, but saying, can you come have a look at our rental property? It's actually about 5 minutes away from my sister's house. So yeah, for sure. Come and have a look, and they needed a bit of tree cutting done, some limbs, so that's something you can take care of, no problem. And then they also needed a little bit of work done in back of the property. I think it was a fourplex that needed to get a bit of grading done away from the house. That's not something that I do myself, but I do have somebody that I have a relationship with, a working relationship with, who does hardscaping, and I send him jobs like that. Then he sends us gardening and maintenance jobs. It's a trade-off basically. So all that to say that this 5-minute little pleasant introduction with this nice older man led to 2 steady clients next to each other, which is optimal when you can park for 40 minutes and do a couple houses. And then you get the neighbors who didn't want grass cutting done, but wanted already done some hedge trimming for them, and they've committed to doing overseeding, dethatching. They want some tree pruning done in the back as well. And then you get a bit of work on the commercial property, and might get the maintenance on the commercial property. For now, they said last year the tenants were doing it themselves, but I mean, who are they going to think of first if they did want to get maintenance done at the fourplex? I mean, it'll be me, right? I'm staying in touch with them. I gave them the Christmas card, give them a call in April. All that to say, guys, really, you've got to get over that intimidation. If you're confident that you're going to do a good job for people, you know that you have the skill required to do something well for the people, you've got to get out there, especially in the first couple of years, okay? I've mentioned before, unless you have like a big fancy website, I don't have that, and you're paying for Google pay-per-click ads, I don't do that either. I find for my business, I find that talking to people and just making a nice impression, being polite, presenting yourself well, sounding confident, that's important. You've got to kind of not hesitate when you're talking to a client. Even if you don't know what exactly what they want done, like when they asked me to come over for the tree pruning on the rental, I knew how to address that. But when they're asking about the grading, I was honest with them. I'm not going to start lying and saying, oh my God, yeah, for sure I can take care of that, and I've got 2 bobcats, and it's not. I don't. It's not my field of expertise. So I do know somebody who does do that very well. So talk about what you know, sound confident, but you've got to get the cards out there. Okay, like when in my first year in business, not in business, but when I was trying to expand the lawn maintenance side of the business, I probably gave out 500 business cards at least before the spring actually got going, and it helps. Are you going to get 500 clients? No, but even if you get 1%, that's good. You're building a network. Okay, you've got to build your base and retain it. So yeah, I guess the long story short, don't be afraid to introduce yourself. Shake hands, tell people about your business, and give those business cards out. Okay, best of luck.